Today we're looking at feeling and engaging our core stability. Once you've got the understanding that a big part of the core stabilisation happens through our breathing and how our breathing acts as this sort of controlled pressurisation system that gives us stability, then it's really easy to start to use that effectively in a whole range of different positions. So we're going to start today lying down, resting your hands on your tummy, just taking a moment to settle. Perhaps feeling that rise and fall under your hands, your tummy moving with your breath. And starting to really tune into the tummy moving up towards the ceiling as you inhale and dropping back down as you exhale. You could even exaggerate that slightly so you feel a really smooth, even and full breath, expanding your tummy and softening it down. If it's helpful for you, if you know that you tend to breathe a little up into the chest, you can always put one hand on the chest, one hand on your tummy, and emphasise the movement of the lower hand moving up towards the ceiling as you inhale and back down again. And as you feel that, aiming to keep the top hand relatively still and quiet. So we're encouraging more movement of the diaphragm, movement in the lower half of the trunk, and less movement up in the chest as you breathe. One other helpful breath check-in you can do before you start engaging the core is to take your hands to the side, just to the lowest ribs, and as you breathe in, just breathing sideways into your hands. Keeping it really smooth, it's not a grab at the beginning of the inhale, just very smoothly, a full inhale, that sideways movement into your hands, and as you exhale, feeling the rib cage narrowing. So we start to sense into the 360-degree breath. So that basically means every time you inhale, you're expanding out front, back and sides right around your body. And then every time you exhale, just feeling a sense of toning, especially under the belly button, from the sides round to the middle. So we start to feel how we're stable on the inhale as we widen and we get more pressure through the abdominal cavity. And as we exhale and all the front, back and sides of the body tones in and holds us with support. So tuning into that a little bit to start with. So we want the trunk to stay neutral. For that to happen, we're just going to tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards a little bit. So you feel the difference between an arched back away from the floor and the lower back, the whole of the back pressed down into the mat. So as you tilt your pelvis forward and backwards, you'll feel arched, you'll feel flattened down. And then we're going to find the medium between that, which is just the natural inward curve to your lower back. So there might be a sense of lightness or space under your lower back. At the same time, just being aware of your ribs can press down. So the back of the rib cage is making contact with your mat. So there's our position for a really stable trunk. So let's maintain that, feeling a smooth, even breath. From there, we're just going to lift one leg up until it's at a right angle from your hip to your body, and slowly lower that leg down. And then do the other side, lifting the leg up and bringing it back down. We're just going to keep going, just very slowly lifting the leg up to a right angle, lowering it very slowly down. And just start to notice how your body shifts with this small movement. So you might notice how your pelvis sways slightly to one side when you lift the leg up. And you might notice the back wanting to move. So after you've done a few, you can really get the hang of lifting the leg with nothing moving. So keeping your pelvis more stable, not letting the contact of your back change with the floor. Keeping a smooth, wide breath happening. So basically what you've done is just started to find more stability through the trunk. So that's stage one, is trying to reduce all movement in your trunk while you're moving your legs. And then just relax for a moment. So let's just set up again. A lightness to your lower back, the rib cage is down, finding a smooth sideways feeling to your breath and upwards in the tummy feeling to your breath. And then lifting one leg up and down slowly. So if you drop the leg down, you kind of lost the work. Your trunk isn't having to work to hold your leg up in space. So the movements need to be slow to challenge the trunk, both up and down. And then the next time you take one leg up, hold it there, keeping that right angle, which again challenges the trunk more, and then take the other leg up. And then notice whether your back changed as you lifted the second leg up. And then we're just going to hold both legs up at a right angle, maintain that as you breathe. The ribs stay down in contact with the floor, and then just very slowly tapping one heel down to the mat and lifting the leg back up. As you do that, the leg that's staying up, just check you're not moving that leg as well, not pulling it in towards you. You might feel as you tap your heel down, your back wants to arch away a bit more from the mat. So you really have to start feeling this corset feeling of muscles toning to hold your trunk still, to keep the ribs in contact. So we're just going to do 2 more to each side. Keeping your breathing going. And then bringing the feet back down and let your breathing relax, let your tummy feel really soft for a moment. So we're going to add another variation now. So the rib cage is down, the lower back is light, you're breathing smoothly, lifting up one leg. See if you can keep really still as you slowly take the other leg up. Right angle at the hips, and then press your palms into your thighs. And as you push your hands into your thighs and your thighs back into your hands, just notice how the back might try and either arch or flatten away. See if you can keep it fairly neutral. Can you still keep your breath in this lower half of your trunk rather than your chest? And we're going to count down for 5, 4, keep those ribs pressing down, 3, pushing a little bit more till you find a bit of a shake. I think that's 3 or 2, 1, and then bring your legs back down, relax your tummy again. So that bit of a shake is a good sign. That's all those muscles really having to work to support you there. Okay, from here, let's shift position. We're going to come into a tabletop position. And then in the tabletop position, we're trying to find a neutral trunk as the best place to start to engage and feel our core stability. So neutral trunk means we're not rounding up, we're not arching, we're finding that in-between position. So feeling a position of the neck, that the back of the neck feels long and in line with the rest of the spine. So drawing your chin in a little, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, pushing the mat away with your hands, so that your upper back is neither collapsed in a little valley between your shoulder blades, nor are you rounding up. So it's somewhere in between. And then feeling for your lower back position, again, you're watching that you're not rounding up, nor are you having a large dip in your lower back. So we're finding that happy medium position. And then from there, connecting to this feeling of breathing right around your lower ribs, front, back and sides, expanding with the inhale, like an accordion widening out. And as you exhale, feeling this sense of tone all around your trunk. And then to help us feel and engage that tone, we're going to challenge it and ask it to work a little bit more. So from this position, start to push into your right hand a bit more, go lighter on your left hand, and at the same time, go lighter on your right leg. And then as you keep breathing, see how it feels to float your left hand and your right leg off the mat, just a tiny bit. And notice now the huge difference in your trunk, and bring them both down. So by asking your trunk to support you when you've only got half your foundation, you can probably feel how everything firms up. So let's do the other side. Smooth breathing, shoulder blades neutral, the lower back's neutral. Maintaining that position in your trunk, nothing's moving. Push into your left hand. Go lighter on your right hand, lighter on your left leg. Taking your time, feeling the trunk as you lift off. So the goal isn't to lift off and balance, the goal is to feel the transition in your trunk and keep a smooth breath. Try not to move the shape of your spine and back, and lowering back down. So it's not about trying to balance, it's feeling, it's the point where suddenly you have to engage and firm and tone much more. So let's do one more to each side, pushing in the right hand, lighter on the left, lifting up the right leg, pushing the mat away with that right hand, and hold and maintain and breathe. Lowering slowly down, and then the other side. So first you find that pressure into your left hand, pressure into the right leg. Float the opposite sides off and hold and breathe. The slower you make that transition, the smoother the trunk tuning in can feel. And then leaning back, you could give your wrists a little bit of a stretch out, upside down, maybe circling them. So let's add a little bit more challenge. Hands might be a bit closer to the knees, tucking your toes under. And again, pulling your shoulders down away from your ears, push the mat away with your hands. Feeling into your lower back for a neutral spine position, not rounding and not too arched. And in a second we're going to float our knees an inch or two off the floor. And what we're really looking for is as the knees lift away from the mat, that the back doesn't change position. There'll be a tendency to want to round and get the front of the body doing the work to support, and we want that support to come from the deeper layers of the core as well, and from our pressure system of breathing. So when you're ready, push the mat away with your hands. Just find that 360-degree breath. So you're breathing all the way around your lower ribs, front, back and sides. And pushing through the hands, slowly, 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 just float your knees off your mat without your back moving. And hold there for 10, keep pushing the mat away, 9, smooth breathing, 8, you might be lowering at 5, 7, 6, lowering your knees if that feels like enough, if you can hold, it's 5, 4, back of the neck's long, 3, full breath, 2, and 1, lowering your knees down. Taking a breath and another little release for your wrists in any way that feels good. Now we're just going to put together some movements that help us to feel and engage the core in different ways. So we're going to start in tabletop again. Reach your right leg out behind you and then reach your left arm out to the side. Again, we're finding that pushing away of the mat with the right hand. I'm feeling for a neutral trunk, so the back of the neck is long, the lower back is neither very dipped nor rounded. And just hold that there for a few breaths and see if you can just find that sense of corseting from the sides into the lower belly as you breathe. Just tuning into that, good feeling of supporting yourself, that you can breathe fully, feel muscular tone and engagement in your body and support yourself here. And then we're going to push that right hand even more into the mat and turn the rib cage to the side, reaching your top arm up. As you exhale, just feel that corseting tone through your trunk, control as you lower the hand down to the mat. And then pushing through your right hand, you could inhale and reach up again. Exhale, feel how your core control is letting you do this slowly, and the hand drops down. And then reaching all the way back up, turning through the ribs. If you want to add a little bit more challenge to that core control, you could thread your left arm under and slowly see how it feels to bring the side of your head, maybe your shoulder to the mat. that top elbow bends, and then can you make your way smoothly back up? Finding that length from head to heel, and we'll do one more. Just noticing as you exhale your way down that this control to do this smoothly is coming all the way around the sides of your trunk. And then for the last one, keep your arm out to the side, shoulders level facing the mat, feeling for level hips here as well. Right hips even with the left. And then as you smoothly breathe, floating your foot an inch or two off the floor and holding there for 5, 4, full body breathing, 3, pushing the mat with that right hand, 2, one more breath, and 1, coming on down. And give your wrists a little bit of a change of scene one way or another. And then let's do the second side. So you're reaching out through the left leg, reaching your right arm out to the side, and just holding that position there so you have time to feel your trunk in a neutral, straight line feeling position. So that means the back of the neck will be long, in line with the rest of the spine. You're pushing the left hand into the mat to stabilize that shoulder, pulling it down, feeling for a neutral lower back, hips even. And then once you've kind of taken a few smooth breaths there, we'll add a little bit more challenge and rotate the rib cage to the side. We're letting the hips swing with us a little bit. And then a slow exhale, bringing the fingertips back down to the mat. So we're feeling all that trunk engage as the hand lowers down. Push the left hand into your mat and rotate. Some nice stretch through the trunk. And then a slow, controlled lowering down. Just one more like that. You can inhale to reach up. Exhaling down, and then if you want to add more challenge, you could do the threading through version, top arms bending. The head might just come down a little bit, you might bring it all the way to the mat and the shoulder as well. So see what feels enough, and then pushing through your hand to come back up, starting to feel that control through your trunk as you rotate. Exhaling down with control, either hand to the mat or threading under. Going slowly enough to be focusing on what you can feel in your trunk. That's the goal, rather than turning all the way or keeping balance. It's feeling the trunk. And then coming for the last reach up, take your arm to the side, shoulders level and hips level. Find that breath through your trunk again and see how it feels to float your toes off an inch or two. We're going to hold there for 5, smooth breathing, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lowering back down. And take a breather. From there, let's shift back to lying down. As you come to lying down, reach out through your arms and just do a few rounds of windshield wipers. So just a very relaxed rotation. And tuning into the support of the floor now that your whole trunk can relax, all the muscles can soften. As you come back to centre and rest your hands back on your tummy, just tuning into the feeling of your breathing now. And just checking with how much you can relax the whole of your abdomen now. So for a really healthy, responsive core, we also want to be able to completely relax it and to know what that feels like. So you could exaggerate your tummy ballooning up with the inhale. And then as you exhale, just let that exhale slow down through your nose and just feel for that softer feeling through the whole of the abdomen. So often in life we tend to be gripping in the abdomen when we don't need to, or we might wear tight clothes, we might be standing up, trying to stand up tall with tummy sucked in, and so this can be an area of tension as well. So an important part of exploring core and core stability is also when does the core have a chance to relax and soften. So enjoying a last minute or two there, feeling a really soft, gentle rhythm to your breath movement in your tummy. And resting there. So I hope you enjoyed those different ways of feeling and engaging your core stability, feeling how it's a front, back and sides support and tone that works with our breathing. It's not just the front tummy muscles. And like with everything, tuning into your core stability just takes practice and time. All those exercises are brilliant to do on a regular basis. Add them into your yoga so that your brain can really register, oh, this is what it feels like when my core is engaged, front, back and sides, the whole of the trunk. All of these things really help to build our trust in our own core stability and to build the strength there. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do leave me a message, let me know how that went for you. Thank you.